Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to have a talk with you guys about modifying your firearms and the importance of understanding what you're doing. When you modify a firearm, you're changing the performance of that gun, right? Be very careful, and I don't mean to insult anybody. Let me start there first. This is more a talk between us with somebody who I've had a lot of experience with guns. I was in the Marine Corps. I was a heavy machine gunner. I carried a Beretta for many years. I did a lot of 1911s. I've done Glocks, as you guys know, SIGs. I'm in armor for several different firearms. So I have a lot of experience. But before I started modifying, I always get accustomed to that firearm. What do I mean? It's beautiful, man, to put all these accessories and new triggers and new blah, blah, blah. But if you don't know how that gun is supposed to perform prior to the modifications, you're going to have some issues, most likely. And you want to be very careful because you want to be able to, one, know how to diagnose those issues, and two, put parts in there that are, one, compatible, and two, and three, if those parts aren't compatible, how to modify those parts to make it compatible. A perfect example of that was my Glock build with my Radiant build that I did with the Palmetto State Armory. I've built so many Glocks, I've lost count. But even then, using Zeph parts that are parts that are quality parts, I had a trigger issue where it was acting like a binary trigger. But because of my experience with firearms, I was able to understand why it wasn't functioning properly and replace that and fix that. But that's why I tell you this, guys. It's more, be very careful buying a new gun and dumping a ton of stuff on it and not understanding how that gun operates. My piece of advice on that is, if you have prior experience with that firearm, in the sense that you've shot Berettas, let's say, millions of times, okay, then you have a pretty good idea how the clone should work or how a Beretta should work and so on. So any modifications that you do on it, then you understand what could be some issues, right? Glocks. It's one of the more easy firearms to modify, but it's also one of those that if you don't know what you're doing with the trigger housing and the springs and whatnot, you can jack it up, So I will always tell you, if it's a new gun, go out, shoot it, practice on it, then start adding stuff to it. If it's something you're building from scratch, use quality parts, because even quality parts can be out of spec. So I advise you to use quality parts. Don't go for always the cheapest, because unfortunately always going for the cheapest can cause you some issues too, guys. Okay. And if you don't know what you're doing, take it to a qualified armor or gunsmith. Okay. I just tell you guys this as somebody who loves the 2A community, wants it to grow, and I want you guys to be safe. I would hate for something bad to happen to somebody because they put a wrong piece in a firearm and, something bad happens. But if you guys ever have any questions or any concerns in reference towards, modifying, if it's something that's within my wheelhouse, I'll be more than happy to help you guys. All right, y'all. Y'all take care.